The wedding hall was filled with whispers. Everyone had their eyes fixed on him, Alexander Hayes, the young billionaire CEO who built an empire before turning 30. He was known for his sharp mind, ruthless business deals, and his golden rule, never let anyone trick you. But today, he felt like the biggest fool in the world. As he stood at the altar, his jaw tightened. His bride walked toward him, her face hidden behind a thick veil. The rumors had already spread. She was ugly, a woman so plain and unwanted that her family had begged for this arrangement. Alexander couldn't shake the thought that he had been deceived. "Is this a joke?" he muttered under his breath. This wasn't how he imagined his wedding. For a man like him, women lined up for attention. Yet here he was, bound by family obligation and a last-minute agreement he barely understood. He clenched his fists, humiliated, his pride cutting deeper than any knife. When the vows were spoken, his lips barely moved. He told himself it didn't matter. He would end this marriage the moment it began. But then, something unexpected happened. The priest announced, "You may now lift the veil." Alexander's heart pounded with resentment. With one swift motion, he reached forward, ready to confirm the cruel whispers. And froze. Beneath the veil wasn't the face he expected. She was breathtaking. Her eyes sparkled with quiet strength, her smile soft but radiant, carrying a grace he couldn't look away from. The hall fell into stunned silence. Alexander blinked, his arrogance shattering. You're not." The bride, Evelyn, finally met his gaze. "Not what you thought?" she asked gently. He swallowed hard. For the first time in years, the man who could talk his way through million-dollar negotiations found himself speechless. After the ceremony, whispers turned into gossip. Why the veil? Why the secrecy? That night, Evelyn explained. Her younger sister was supposed to marry him, an arrangement of convenience to merge their families. But on the morning of the wedding, the girl ran away, terrified of a loveless union. To protect her family's honor, Evelyn stepped in, hiding her face until it was too late to undo the vows. "I never wanted to deceive you," she said softly, her voice steady. "I only wanted to protect my sister, and my family. You may annul this tomorrow. I'll understand." For a long moment, Alexander just stared. No one had ever spoken to him like that, not with honesty, not with sacrifice, not with such selflessness. And for the first time, he saw beyond himself. This wasn't about pride or power. This was about a woman who chose dignity over comfort, sacrifice over reputation. And suddenly, he realized, he had judged her before even knowing her. The following days changed everything. Evelyn wasn't what he imagined a CEO's wife to be. She didn't care for fancy parties or titles. Instead, she spent her time volunteering at children's shelters, helping people with no cameras watching, no spotlight on her. One evening, Alexander followed her quietly to a small community center where she helped serve dinner to homeless families. He watched as she tied an apron around her waist, kneeling down to comfort a little boy crying because he hadn't eaten all day. She didn't see him standing there. But in that moment, Alexander realized he had been blind his entire life, not to Evelyn's beauty, but to what true beauty meant. It wasn't the face behind the veil. It was the heart beneath it. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, the cold CEO who trusted no one began to change. He laughed more, softened more, even joined Evelyn in her work. And when people asked about their marriage, Alexander would simply smile and say, "I thought I was tricked, but in truth, I was saved." The emotional climax came on their anniversary. Evelyn had planned nothing special, just a quiet dinner at home. But Alexander had arranged something different. He led her back to that same community center, now renovated, expanded, and shining like new. On the wall hung a plaque, the Evelyn Hayes Foundation for Children. Her eyes filled with tears. You did this?" "No," Alexander said, taking her hand. We did this. You taught me what it means to give. You showed me that love isn't a contract, it's a choice. For the first time, Evelyn saw the man not as a CEO, not as a powerful figure, but as someone who finally understood what it meant to live for others. Their story spread far beyond their city, becoming a reminder that love isn't about appearances, wealth, or control. It's about compassion. About seeing past the veil, both literal and invisible, that people wear. And Alexander, once a man obsessed with pride and image, carried a new truth wherever he went. Sometimes life tricks us, not to hurt us, but to guide us toward what we truly need.